Welcome to AmiCast, podcast about Amiga computers. I'm your host, Krzysztof Radzikowski, but call me Krzysztof or Radzik. Hello and welcome. Here is AmiCast special episode number 4. Why special? Because I have the special guest that this is the Adam Zalepa, very famous Amiga guy in Poland, who is writing books and so on. He will tell us something more. But in Poland with Adam, I make the special episode about the current situation of Amiga, like for example AmiWest now. So we will comment every month or something like this. We will give you a comment about the current situation, what we think, what can be changed. So at the beginning, hi Adam.
Hello there.
Amazing. So, okay, so I think like it's special episode. So just short, tell me something about your work, because in Poland you are very popular. You make the Polish Amiga magazine, so this means the AmiGazine in Polish. RetroComp, so this is the magazine for old computers in general, Amiga, Atari, Commodore, and so on. And of course, you are writing a lot of books now. And in the old good times, you were very popular with series of book for Amiga, from system till hardware and so on. So now you are continue your work in Poland, and now you are starting to be outside of Poland.
Yes, I'm writing articles and books since the second half of the 90s. And now we have 2 magazines for Amiga users and all the retro computer fans. Books which I wrote in last times is about Amiga OS 3 operating system, MorphOS, and Director Opus 5. But now we want to expand our activities, and the next book will be about programming in foreign languages like Amos and Amiga E. But it will be published in next year. I'd like to expand outside Poland, because I had many messages from Amiga users, and you asking about English editions of the books, and so we will have it.
Because I think first book, English book from your company was more or less my book about the emulation of Amiga OS 4.1. So I was the author. You published it. So probably if somebody has the idea to write the book, can ask you about help to make it happen. The Amos book, I think it will be the second, and from you. About the programming, more or less, if Amos is a programming language, but this is the programming language, quite simple, like everybody said, but for sure for me it is ultra complicated. Okay, so and in near future, in this next year, will you have more books about, for example, MorphOS, because you already released in Poland the book about this system, books about Amiga operating system 3.1 and 3.9 and so on. I want to ask you about re-edition of Polish version in English language.
Yes, the re-edition, the English editions of the books will be available in next year, but in order, the first will be the book about AmigaOS 3.9 and Amos language, and other books will be published later, because we have 3 parts of Amiga 3.1. We have a big book about MorphOS. Translations take some time, so we're starting books which we could translate faster.
So this is the very important information, I think, because Adam and I'm also a Polish guy, so English is not. It is like I always say, this is always broken English podcast. But the translation will be made like AmigaOS 4.1 by the professional guy. So I think don't panic. You can understand it and read it.
Yes. Sorry for my English, but the translations will be done with professional translators, and not me and not you.
Exactly. So it will be better. But I think we will continue the special edition. That's why we can comment the today's situation of Amiga, and this will improve our language as well. Okay, Adam, should I ask you something more about your Amiga work, or we can skip it and say something about AmiWest?
I would say more about software releases. We have games. We started with Thanks Fury, a famous Polish game, and now it's Solid Gold. By the way, greetings to Frank Wille and other friends. And now we'd like to release next games, but the names will be announced later.
I think if somebody has some idea or has the already beta of game, can ask you to support or something if he want to make the box version of this, yeah.
So if you have a question, so mail me, send me message on Facebook or Twitter, or to the Krzysiek, to the Radzik, and we will answer as fast as possible.
Okay, so this is at the end of all, this is very nice. We are friends with Adam, so I hope the work what he's doing now, and when he tried to go outside now, outside the Poland, so I hope it will be good news for everybody about the books, about the games, about the boxed games, and as we see after Thanks Fury, Solid Gold in good price, so this is good value for your money, in my opinion. Okay, so this is all, Adam?
Yes, I think so.
So now we already made in Poland the special episode about AmiWest, and after some time we decided, okay, the special episode should be in English version of podcast as well. That's why this is our first time with Adam, and then we'll comment, like I said before, Amiga Today, what is happening. So the last hot news is AmiWest and the stuff showed at AmiWest. Okay, so I think I will start with something not so important. The most important thing is AmigaOne X5000, of course. But before the main dish, it will be something like good news that Ami Store has a lot of clients in AmigaWay. The registered number of users is 900, and they bought stuff in in number 3000, so quite not so bad. And about 50 titles are in AMI Store, and this is true. Most of them is something more than wallpapers. So let's have a hope that ImageFX and so on will come sooner or later. Do you want to comment something here, Adam?
I'm very happy that the AMI Store and the people want to buy the AMI Store software, and I hope that the development will be continued.
Okay, and I hope we are waiting that AMI Store sooner or later will be available to other platforms, including Classic as well. And when I'm talking about the Classic, naturally I think the good thing is here ALICE laptop that will cost about 650 euros, I think, not including tax, like Aon introduced everything. So including license for Amiga Forever, AmigaOS 4.1, Magic User Interface, and I was watching the YouTube videos from AmiWest, and ALICE is very impressive. The nice thing is that the rapid hold, so you can start Skype, Firefox direct from AmiKit. And other thing is AmigaOS 4.1 has more memory, so this was, I think, 1 gigabyte of RAM, maybe even more could be possible. What do you think about this, Adam?
The ALICE for me is a strange thing. If we have an integrated Amiga environment and Linux software, it will be very, very useful, and many users would like to buy it. But I don't check it. I think we have to wait to more details and to touch it and to use it in more time.
The other thing maybe about software again, so there will be how to say, this is maybe not exactly the right word, the LibreOffice, it is in beta tests.
The LibreOffice is the most important thing as an Office suite, but Amiga version is a 3, as I know, and we will have in mainstream 5. So it's very important. But today we have web applications, and I think the better way is to improve internet browser like Odyssey to run Google Docs on Microsoft Word. But some of these applications is running today.
I have the same feeling. That's why I was saying that it's hard to say. For sure, it was cool news 3 years ago. For now, is something like outdated program from AmigaOS. In my opinion, it's waste of energy of time of developers to port it, or maybe it is in so advanced stage that it's okay to finish it, but. The good question is, make sense to make something big like LibreOffice, and it will be always updated. And the same question is Gutenprint. So really we need something like this, because every printer that you want to buy now in the shop have the network connection and the SD slots, USB ports. You can make the PDF on your Amiga and print it. Of course, it's not so perfect, but maybe it's better to invest this money, these guys, to develop the Odyssey or Firefox, I don't know, because without web browser, the NG is dead.
Not every printer has a PDF support, I think so. The Office Suite and the Gutenprint will be useful, but I think the importance is if we could import and export document formats like Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel. It's important for many people. So I think when they started to porting LibreOffice, let they finalize it, but the Gutenprint, it's other thing, because it's not the only printer drivers. It's like a turbo print in the 90s, but it's not the most important. I think this application will be available or not available, and most users wasn't to buy it, but it depends on the price of it.
The price, this is the big question about the new Amiga One, but maybe before. So of course, this is nice to have such applications like that. But my question is, this makes sense to develop it, and in software. I think and I hope and it looks like the December. This means for us the Amiga OS for one final edition update 1 to be alive. This means the most important thing. This is 4 gigabytes of memory. This 2 belongs to RAM disk and 2 for operating system. It's said that this is not for operating system, but at the end of all, bigger RAM disk makes sense as well. So it's better that not to have so big RAM disk. So why not? Okay. So and after this, when the developers are ready with AmigaOne X5000 and I think Tabor, they will make the second core. Sorry, not kernel. So they will make the kernel that is using more cores than one, and for this we are waiting years now. So let's have a hope that it will be in next year or something. What do you think about the current situation of Amiga OS? About memory support is a big problem. It's in all Amiga related systems. So if I could have 2 gigabytes more RAM disk, then fine. But I think they should continue develop to realize to implement really 4 gigabytes of RAM support. And about the second case is I can remember. Second case, this was the support more than one core, so dual core and so on.
The multi-core.
Yeah.
The multi-core. The important thing is how they to realize. The multi-core support, even on PCs, is not very good in some applications. So if they have a vision of implement multi-core in Amiga OS, but I'm afraid it's not it's working not very good, and not the big number of applications will be supported. But we're waiting, and we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the second core or more give the more power or release this power from actual computers, so that has that more than one core. So X1000 and 5000 and Tabor. So nice to have. I hope it will happen.
Yes. I'm sure that when we want to have a more powerful PowerPC machine, so the multi-core is the only thing you can do it. The more powerful processors, it's not cheap. So when we want to have a more powerful machine, so the multi-core is the good thing.
This feature is very useful, or could be very useful in the next. Now we are going to hardware, Tabor. The price, it will be 400, something like this. Of course, as I understand, without taxes. I hope the whole system, taxes, approximately taxes in Europe, so it will be 20% or something. So the whole system, computer completely, will cost 800 euros, and it will be nice. Better will be 700, of course. But this is very nice hardware as entry level, small, but we'll see what happened, because it's booting to Workbench, whatever this means. Just 2 more weeks in AmigaOne. This means, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. So in my opinion, the Tabor should be available in December, and for sure it will not happen. So what do you think about this small, sexy motherboard?
No, maybe when we will have a cheap hardware, so we will have the more of Amiga users there. So I think it's important, but the most important thing is when will it available. If at the end of this year, it's good. But when it will be available in the next year, and 2 years, or 2 weeks, so the users will be disappointed.
This is, of course, there's another problem, FPU, that is not present. Here, the same story, like Vampire, that was shown at AmiWest as well. There is no FPU so far. So let's have a hope in Vampire the FPU will be implemented, because now I'm very happy with my Vampire in 600, but without FPU it's in Lightwave Cinema, and it's much slower than 060. And the other thing, you cannot run a lot of good software without FPU, and I have the big problem to run the Mac. I don't know how they are making on the Apollo team that they are running the Mac OS, because even I cannot install Mac OS without FPU. The installer told me that you don't have FPU, man. So I don't know how this magic is happening. But at the end of all, the Vampire was showed, and the price now is announced. So this is 250 euros or something, whatever. And the motherboard of Tabor will be 400. So I think this is good option, or thing that you could think about it. Maybe it makes bigger sense to buy the Tabor and have the new operating system and run old games through emulation than to buy old hardware, the Vampire, and the money will be the same at the end of all, plus minus, yeah.
It depends. When you would like to have a powerful classic Amiga, so the Vampire the best option, but it's not ideal piece of hardware. When we will available FPU, we don't know. We know about new instructions like AMMX, so the 68K applications wrote in special way will be running faster. But what about old software? I think on Vampire the old software should be running fast, and the users wants to see it and then wants to buy it.
At the end of all, is the new software instruction in CPU is not so bad. But my question is, who will develop something for Vampire or this new CPU? Because when we see the Amiga NG, this means for one, MorphOS, even AROS, the development is very slow and even not so successful. So in classic Amiga, I don't know if something will change. But classic is classic, and this year this is finally world premiere of AmigaOne X5000 that you can have for about 2,400, 500 euros, including taxes. Because I'm living in Europe, that it's easier for me when somebody say to me price with taxes, and it's start to be tricky because as I understand and I heard, the most of guys they were thinking about 2,000 including taxes, and the announcement was about less than 2,000 but without taxes. And now we will see this is 2,5, so it's better than 3. But in my opinion, it's a little bit too high. But more or less, I want to buy it, and I will buy it if I can, because theoretically the computer is ready to buy, to order in web shop, for example Alinea in Germany, but you cannot order it. I become the email that now you can order your Amiga. And you go to the shop and you cannot order it. And when you check in France or Swiss, where the computers are available, there is no information when the computer will be available. So it's for me it's very funny because they make the world premiere and they say you can buy it and you cannot buy it. The only one thing is Amiga on the Lake shop that they show 25 days of waiting to complete your order, but nobody says official when.
Yes, it's the one thing, but the other thing is the price. For me, is the price is too high. From my point of view, I'm using every day MorphOS on Mac and Power Mac G5, and according to benchmark we just saw on Amiga forums, the speed of AmigaOne X5000 is similar to G5. So the many people be disappointed price is too high. But when you want to have AmigaOS 4 hardware, so it's the final, is the one choice.
And the final, maybe.
In the final, I think the AmigaOne X5000 and the Tabor maybe it will be last PowerPC based hardware for AmigaOS. So we could think about it. Amiga NG, MorphOS or AmigaOS 4 is most important because the next hardware will be other platform or maybe never will be released.
We heard this that Google they want to start in PowerPC, investing in PowerPC, because they are not so happy with Intel. But from this point to desktop PowerPC computer is a lot of kilometers or miles. So it could be, and maybe it's even better that the AmigaOne, the top configuration is available, and something cheap like Tabor with let's hope the Tabor will have the enough performance to play with Amiga OS or to software. And now I think we should have the more software from web browser, from this Image FX, Aladdin 4D, because they were bought, they announced it, and two more weeks again. But more or less, I must say I'm quite happy with AmiWest from this year. We didn't heard Amiga OS 4.2, and maybe it's better because it's hard to believe it will happen. But more or less we get the realistic next year or something like this. And and the price of X5000 it's too high, but it will not be cheaper. So take it or leave it.
Yes, the power of Amiga X5000, I think, would be fine today. I compared it to my Power Mac G5, but the most important thing is today development of applications like internet browsers and other system-related software. So people have mobile phones and tablets, and they would like to use similar applications or the same applications on the desktop. So when the Odyssey would support most of them, so the people would buy a new AmigaOne hardware.
This is what I saw on this YouTube. You can easily find AmiWest 2016 when you wrote there in the search field. There will be the movies. So the plan from Trevor is that, and this is quite, I think, good plan, that the Tabor will be something like donated, and it will be and it will generate the users, and the Aeon will make the money on the software. So I hope it will be like this, because we need some more software in our NG world. Let's have a see. I hope December everybody can buy the new AmigaOne. I hope the next year, in the first part of the next year, everybody can buy the Tabor. And we will see when we see the LibreOffice and this stuff. Maybe Alice will be first. We will make the other special episode in something like next month or plus minus something like this. Let's hope we will have the more news. Maybe even I will have my AmigaOne. And maybe I could say something more about this computer, and so thanks, Adam, and to the next special episode.
Yes, thank you very much.
It was AmiCast, podcast for all Amiga users.